Imagine standing at the top of the world where only the bravest dare to tread. Now imagine being the first woman to do so. That's the incredible story of Junko Tabei. Born in Japan in the year 1939, Junko was not your typical mountaineer. She was a woman in a field dominated by men, a mother and a wife. Yet she dared to dream of scaling the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. Towering over 29,000 feet, this majestic mountain poses a formidable challenge even to the most experienced climbers. Add to this the societal constraints and gender biases of the 70s, and you have a mountain of obstacles to surmount. But Junko was not one to be deterred. She was determined to break the ice, to challenge the status quo, to climb not just mountains, but also societal barriers. And so began the journey of a woman who would defy all odds to etch her name in the annals of mountaineering history. The journey to the top of Everest is fraught with peril, and for Junko Tabei, it began in earnest in 1975. This petite powerhouse from Japan, a country known for its Mount Fuji, had bigger mountains in her sights. Fueled by an unprecedented passion for climbing, Tabei formed the Ladies Climbing Club back in her homeland. A club that bore the motto, "Let's go on an overseas expedition by ourselves." But as one would imagine, the journey wasn't all smooth sailing. Their first hurdle was the financial mountain. The expedition required a colossal amount of money, a sum that seemed as steep as Everest itself. Undeterred, Tabei and her team worked tirelessly, hosting slideshows, fundraising events, and even knitting items to sell. Their relentless determination finally paid off, and they were able to gather enough funds to embark on their ambitious journey. As they began their ascent, the physical challenges of climbing the world's highest peak quickly became apparent. The mountain was as unforgiving as it was majestic. The climbers battled freezing temperatures, thinning air, and treacherous terrains, testing their physical and mental limits. And then, disaster struck. An avalanche swept over their camp, burying Tabei under the snow. She was unconscious for nearly 6 minutes. But the mountain's wrath was no match for Tabei's resilience. Despite injuries and the obvious risk, she decided to continue the climb. The journey was grueling. With every step, the air grew thinner, the temperatures colder. Yet nothing could extinguish the fire within Tabei. She soldiered on, driven by her unyielding spirit and an unwavering resolve to reach the top. And then, the moment arrived. On May 16, 1975, Junko Tabei stood at the top of the world, a beacon of courage and determination, the first woman to conquer Mount Everest. She had ascended past the hardships, the naysayers, the physical pain, and the natural forces to etch her name in history and pave the way for women climbers across the globe. Junko Tabei wasn't just the first woman to conquer Everest. She was a trailblazer who redefined what women could achieve. Her ascent of the world's highest peak in 1975 sent ripples through the fabric of societal norms, shattering the glass ceiling that had long held women back from such extraordinary feats. Her legacy is far from being confined to the icy slopes of Everest. It is etched in the hearts and minds of countless women around the globe who were inspired by her courage and tenacity to challenge their own limits. Tabei's achievements didn't stop at Everest. She went on to become the first woman to complete the 7 summits, scaling the highest mountains on each of the 7 continents. Her story echoes far and wide, reminding us of the power of dreams and the strength of the human spirit. Junko Tabei, an ordinary woman with an extraordinary dream, climbed her way into history, proving that the only limits we have are the ones we set for ourselves.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.